no money, that's an asshole. It wasn't a phase.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Senior Citizen Podcast, and we are here with some good old regular punk with Shush.
Hi. Thanks for having us. This is really cool.
Thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it. It's impressive to me that you got a whole 5-piece band out here.
Yeah.
Because usually somebody's missing.
Yeah.
Who's the bassist? Usually the bassist is missing.
I will never miss a rehearsal, like anything band related. I'm always the one like.
He's the
Ray
most.
has always had perfect attendance.
You're setting the example for
Yeah.
the rest of them.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, tell me a little bit about how Shush got started.
So Shush started when Matthias and Jose and I were in a band prior to this one. It didn't really work out. We weren't having as much fun as we thought we were, and we were trying to like evolve as writers. And I came to them with ideas for songs because we had been writing in the last band pretty well. Like we just had a good we just knew how to communicate with one another. So then
Was there other people in that band?
there was two others that we just didn't mix well.
Just voted off the ship.
Essentially, yeah, we just
Flashing
disbanded.
ideas and
Yeah.
just didn't work out.
Yeah,
So,
and perspectives and whatnot. So we wanted to grow as people and like as artists. So we formed Shush, and then we brought Ray along, and then we found Eddie. And Eddie was already in another band prior, Shiva, and he left that one. But he was still in it when he joined, but then he left that one and became a full Shush member. So now we're Shush. So
I've heard of Shiva.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool stuff.
So he was already really good. So
Right.
we were like, we gotta make sure we're good. So, but he came along and we just mixed well. You know, it's a big family now, so having a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah.
And until you're not, right? No, I'm kidding.
Don't jinx it.
I'm sorry, knock on wood. No, but okay, that's cool. So you all have had experiences, except for Ray, being in local bands before.
Yeah, but Ray, he fell into it really like that. You know,
Okay,
and
well,
he-
I'm gonna start with Ray. Like, how did you start playing bass? Since you were kids, since you were older.
I've been playing bass since I was around like 17 or so, but I really only got into it when I started playing with these guys. So
Okay.
it was about like over a year ago or so. That's when I really fell in love with it, and I found myself like just like picking it up every single day, and just like it became a really big part of my life. So with this being like my first experience being in a band and stuff, I've learned a lot of things, and I don't think that I could have progressed as a bass player as much as I have if it wasn't for these guys.
That's awesome. The way that you did the air quotes with playing bass, I'm like, does anyone actually play bass? Or
Yeah.
are you just there? No, I'm kidding.
my primary was bass too. Before I started playing guitar and singing in the band. But Ray, it was like in his blood. Like it's just in his DNA that he was meant to fall into it. And he learned so quick. And
That's
he comes
awesome.
up with his own things half the time. Like it's not like he came into it and we had to teach him. He really just knew what he was doing, and we just let him experiment.
That's
and
awesome.
Find his voice in it.
So how's the songwriting process go? Does everybody bring something to the table?
Essentially, we like sometimes I'll come with like the way that we write that I think is really important to how we write is we have a theme or something we're trying to say in the song, and everything else kind of comes after that. That or they'll come with riffs, or I'll come with riffs or ideas for songs, and it just builds after that. But a lot of it really comes from like something we're trying to say within the songs, whether that be like introspective lyrics about mental health or something that's going on worldwide that we want to discuss. So
I think that's the
it.
very root of punk.
Yeah, you know, you
As-
kind of have to. But it was really important to us, like even when we started, because Matthias and I were actually in another band prior when we were like 19 years old, which was not that great of a band. But it was fun and it was a good learning experience. But I had left that because I didn't feel mature enough,
Right.
and I hadn't gotten to the point where I was like, what am I saying that's actually important is going to be helpful.
Gotcha.
So now I feel that we.
being in that band for sure, that really like,
Yeah.
solidified
Yeah.
like our future. for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
That's what made you guys realize that you wanted to take this music thing seriously.
Yeah, and also we wanted to do it together
Okay.
because we just like we just fell into it so well, and we were just really having fun. That was really the most important thing. That I'm sure a lot of people say, but we really have fun playing together. When we rehearse, we've only had one show, so
Right.
but every rehearsal that we have, we really kind of treat it as if it's like the last time we're gonna play. because I think you have to if you're going to be doing this with 5 people, which is very hard usually at 5 people. But I don't find it difficult being with these guys because we just communicate with one another so well. So.
No, I think that you guys are just so easy to work with, considering how last minute you were all able to show up.
Yeah. Well,
Still baffled, honestly.
We're always down to any gig.
For sure. That goes for all of y'all over there.
So, yeah.
Douglas, what's your background in music? What?
Funny enough, I'm actually more of an artist. I went to school for art. I have a bachelor's in fine arts. I have a punk rock curriculum in music, so I never really learned. Matt and Jose are actual educators at the store we work at, so they're a lot more knowledgeable. But again, like same thing with Ray. With me, when I was learning music as a kid, I played bass when I was like 16 also, and I played bass because I'd never learned like the fundamentals of it, but only because it didn't work in my brain.
Okay.
But then I just kept playing and practicing all the time. I knew I wanted to play guitar, and I didn't start playing guitar probably until like my 20s.
Okay.
So probably 7 years now, maybe I've been playing guitar. I feel like I'm pretty alright at guitar. But my background just comes from wanting to pick it up and be like my favorite punk bands.
Okay.
So,
And you were self-taught basically
Yeah,
throughout.
yeah.
What were those favorite punk bands?
my favorite punk band of all time that like I was conscious and I learned what music was The Germs.
The Germs?
Yeah, my favorite band.
I heard it here first.
The Germs, man.
Germs.
They're my favorite band of all time. And then I started learning about other bands like the Buzzcocks. Man, every time I talk about music, I always forget like all the bands in my brain. The Descendants were a big band
Okay.
that influenced me. But a lot of like Black Flag, all that stuff. And then I started learning about other bands like Counting Crows, which are one of my favorite bands also. And then, as I got older, like My Chemical Romance and whatnot, like it's pretty big.
That's funny, coming into like an emo phase after
Yeah.
having like a cool punk phase.
Yeah,
Wow.
but what's funny is I never saw, like when I went into, I had one, but when I was getting into them,
Oh yeah.
here we go.
This is what we're here for.
when I got into them, I never saw them in that way,
Right.
because I appreciated so much of how they brought their influences into it, and they weren't from like that realm, like David Bowie, which is a big influence on us. David Bowie and like the Misfits and whatnot, and I loved that they really encouraged combining or experimenting with like different realms of music to create something new and unique. And I feel like we do that really well because like those 2 songs we've made are in that punk realm.
Yeah.
But we have so many others that are so outside of that
Right.
because we really wanted to make sure that we didn't feel stuck in our writing. So.
Yeah, not get locked in the little genre box.
Yeah, we love
how I
punk,
call it.
but I think people didn't realize that we're not a punk band.
It's funny enough because I don't know if I would consider, I'm like today years old and I realize I know nothing about punk. But when I listened to those 2 tracks that you guys do have on Spotify, it gave me like Joyce Manor vibes for some odd reason.
I like them too. Yeah, I didn't get into them until like probably college, but I wasn't even like really into them. But I appreciated them a whole lot.
That self-titled album is
Yeah.
just.
It's great. I love that. I love the raw sound that they give. That's what we really wanted to go for.
And that's probably it, the raw kind of feeling sound.
Yeah.
I love Joyce Manor.
Yeah, they're cool.
Eddie, what's your background?
I've been playing guitar since like 18 or so, because I had a friend that had like passed from cancer, and he like kind of taught me, like he pushed me to play guitar, so I'm very self-taught, but I went to college for music, so I also took music theory and like jazz classes and all that.
Right.
So I have like kind of like a both self-taught and then like taught like background.
I'm sorry about your friend.
Oh no, it's
That's-
fine. That was like a long time ago. You know, you come to terms with these things, and it's like you live on with playing like music.
Yeah. No, grieving is hard. I'm currently grieving, so I feel that, and I am sorry. And it's beautiful that you keep their legacy alive by carrying on what they taught you. Why did you leave Shiva?
So there was like
Was
kind
there
of like
drama?
a little bit, kind of, but that's not like the main reason. The main reason was kind of like it was getting kind of like stale for me. It felt like kind of stagnant, and like the songwriting process took like kind of too long. And then,
Okay.
like coming into this band, where like we already have like almost like a whole set list of songs. It's like
We have a total of 13 right now. We have an album that we're going to be working on
We are working on
right
it
now.
now.
Yeah, it's already like basically made. It's just we have to get the money. to
Right.
record it.
The money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Money's a thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing about Eddie. Like I think we all related in that sense where like when we came together, that was a big thing with the last band we were in. A lot of the music that we were writing was really adamant on making sure that what we were saying was getting across.
Right.
And was like the main priority, which a lot of it was like dealing with loss and dealing with mental health. But really like the most essential thing was that though we're going to talk about it, we really want to make sure that the point gets across that we want to give solutions and to offer, I guess ideas, not ideas, like to push for you to get better. And it's like, maybe try doing this, maybe try trying this. And I feel like when I was growing up, I didn't get a lot of that, mainly in like art of any kind. So I really wanted to make sure that what we were making does that.
It has a message.
Yeah,
Right.
and just offers help, and not only just talking about it, being like normalizing talking about it, which is important, but also being like, here's something you can try to get better from it. Maybe discuss it with someone if you're feeling low about it, and, you know, really being maturing in like how you communicate.
Yeah.
Wanting to help people. So.
Right. Therapy's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Jose, what's your background in music?
Switchblade of music. Hosey.
I just love how everyone's like black, gray, and we got Hawaiian
Yeah.
SpongeBob shirt back there.
Jose is
like
our shining light.
little ray of
He's our
sunshine.
friend.
When all goes wrong, we go to Jose.
You can also hear the music.
Hear the music, yeah. Keep it.
So as far as background, I think I started maybe at 5 years old when I played piano for a little bit. And then during middle school, that's when I went into trumpet. I was actually more into trumpet more than anything because after that, after that I went through high school with it, I went through college with it, and I toured with it.
Wow.
Yeah, I went through some Haitian bands doing that. I played with my with another band on playing jazz and everything from there. But now I'm back to keyboard because now I'm the keyboard player over here. I also play a little bit of trumpet in there too because we actually have some songs too.
Jose is probably the most like, and he's very humble about it, but he's so good.
Right.
So
We call him our secret weapon.
he is our secret weapon because it's just like he's also just so fun to be around when he's playing music because you can hear any weird sounds and keys or horns that you will hear eventually. Like he's just so incredible. He really makes the songs like come to life.
Right.
And when he's not there, it's just like, oh man, where's the
Like we miss him.
like where's the sun? You know.
Where's the core?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's how we all feel about each other. When one of us Eddie was recently missing because he hurt his thumb, and it was just like, oh man.
What'd you do
It's
to
so
your thumb?
awfully quiet
tell your
whenever one
story.
of us is just not
So,
here.
I messed up my thumb at a bowling for soup show. Then I went with my partner, and funny enough, I wasn't even in the pit. I just got like pushed into someone, and my thumb like cracked all the way back.
It's so good.
Oh God.
And I was so upset because I was like, now I can't go to practice. Now I can't play guitar.
Of all shows.
Yeah.
Shows.
I mean,
104 days.
I need you to like revamp that story and make it sound really metal. Like, oh, I was in the pit and I, you know.
I was in the pit. I was crab killing. I was doing all
The
this.
crack killing.
The overalls.
You said it bent back and now my thumb like hurts.
Yeah.
I don't like the thought of that. But anyways, Jose, I love that you bring that trumpet, that keyboard sound to the band. Now visually it makes sense. I'm like, wow, ska, yes, I see it. Like
we never tell them like you need to change how you dress because
never.
you know why would we? But whenever our first show, we were all like kind of like in our like little fit for shush, and he had a Kirby shirt on.
Yep.
We were like, that's perfect.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was great.
What made you pick the trumpet?
Honestly, when I was a kid, what was it? I had piano, and then in middle school they wanted me to. I guess they were kind of like, you're good at piano, but we need some band players and all that stuff. So I went there. They gave me two choices between xylophone and trumpet. Not two choices. Sorry. They made me pick between two that I had to choose. I chose xylophone and trumpet. I liked the trumpet a little bit. That was pretty cool. They said there were too many trumpets, but then I just ended up getting trumpet anyways.
It's too many trumpets. I love
Too
that.
many trumpets.
Your
Yeah, right,
fate.
trumpets.
Yeah, but from there
She wrote.
yeah.
All she wrote from there.
From there it worked out. Like I had I like the sound that comes out of it. I like the it's a little bit of work to try and get to, but once I get it, and then once I get through all the fingers and all that stuff, I feel good.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I asked because Sophia from Wakata, like I had asked her, I'm like, oh, how'd you come across the trumpet? She was like, well, one other one had like too many buttons. And then the other one, like, it didn't do enough for me. So I was like, no, this one's good. It's got the right amount, you know? Like the little Three Bear story or whatever.
Whenever Jose tells me a joke about woodwinds, which is like, what's the range of a clarinet? It's like how far you can throw it.
That's a good one.
Funny enough, you mentioned about that. I had a friend that he mentioned the same thing. Like he was one of the co-workers workers here, but when he started picking trumpet, he had a choice between trumpet and saxophone. And he saw the saxophone, and he's like, wait, that's too many buttons.
Yeah.
Let me go to this one.
Yeah.
Let me go to the C. I think it's
Trying too hard.
There's exactly too much going on this one. Maddie, what's your background in music?
My background in music. I've been playing drums for a little bit over 20 years. Now.
Wow.
I was in a band called Camp Blue.
Okay.
I was recently replaced by them, so I'm a full-time Shush member. I play drums. I also play a little bit of guitar and bass. Like Doug said, I help with a little bit with the writing process, writing riffs.
Writing process is
A
really
little
good.
bit of them. But over 20 years of drumming, and I've been in a bunch of different bands. I've been in a band with Douglas called My Phantom's Kiss when we were like 18, fresh out of high school.
You can hear it.
And then I played with a bunch of other like small-time groupies from Miami-Dade, and that just never really worked out. And one of my biggest bands I was with was Camp Blue, and we had actually performed at 3 Points. That was like one of my biggest like highlight career moments for me.
Yeah.
But here I am now, I'm a full-time Shush member, and I'm happy to be here. These guys are all found.
The vibe here is immaculate, like, honestly.
Thank you. Yeah, we're one big happy family.
Those guys
We're
are
young
good.
too.
Yeah.
We just want to play shows.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not easy to get shows in.
It's not easy to get shows. What's been, and I think it's not like airing out dirty laundry, but it's like, what is keeping you guys from playing shows?
I mean, it's just time, and it's just not many venues. You know what I mean? And I think for a band like us, we submit our songs to so many radio things, and we get declined every single time. But it's probably not their fault. It's probably because we have very dangerous songs to play. At least two, we have 2 songs that are very dangerous to play. But it's just there's not many venues, and I think not that much of a, I don't want to say scene for us, but I think because we're so new, it's just kind of difficult to get in. But we're hoping the more we get out there, and the more we connect people, we can hopefully this helps.
Yeah.
To connect with people, to just be like, we're just down to play anywhere, you know.
No, and I don't even think I've had like a legit like punk band on the show from what I can remember like off the top of my head. So there probably isn't that much. There's a lot of like metalcore in the scene.
Yeah.
Our anniversary party was supposed to be just pop punk, and that was so hard to put together.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, there's not a lot of pop punk here. Orlando, it's everywhere. But here,
I think the dominating scene is like the hardcore scene for sure.
Yeah.
it's hardcore and like metalcore and stuff like that. Yeah, and it's great. We love it, but also like variety.
Yeah, that was the thing when I was growing up too. When I would see all these hardcore bands, like the Germs would be considered like one of the first hardcore bands. But hardcore now, I never like connected with it. It was very macho, and I'm not very macho. With some exceptions, like bands like Judge, but they're from like the 80s or whatever. But I just never connected with it. I always liked a lot of things that had a lot of melody and a lot of differences to one another. I like bands that are very unique to one another.
Right.
Like you put them together, they're obviously not the same. But I just felt like when I was like listening to a lot of hardcore, trying to discover hardcore, I was like, it's just too much of like, there's not enough like variety for me to connect with.
Right.
So
I would listen to hardcore, and I'm talking about like first EP Turnstile when I'm angry. Like if I'm pissed, like that's what I'm listening
it's great.
to.
Like it's a great outlet for people for sure.
Yeah.
Like I can see it like relieving people's like stress and anger. So.
Right. And I only 2-step by myself because it's embarrassing to do it in public. But I want to go through and talk to you guys each about like if you had like an emo scene that you already hinted towards that's never getting cut out. So again, we'll go one by one. Whoever wants to start, I'll take volunteers.
you
I start.
called me out. You start.
Why don't you
Alright,
start?
I'll start.
You had it stronger.
I didn't have it that strong.
You had the swoop.
I had a little swoop. It wasn't even that. It wasn't
He has
even
a
that.
picture next to 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, I remember.
That's great.
It was funny like how that happened because I was at Art Basel, and like this is like during 30 Seconds to Mars era where like he was becoming more of like a hippie.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, like in my mind I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like he was walking around Art Basel with like flip flops.
Right.
Jared Leto.
Right.
But I was so excited at the time. I was like, oh man, I can't believe it. His brother was a lot cooler. You
And now you're like, that man was just walking around with his dogs out
Yeah,
in our
I was But yeah, I mean, like in high school, I think I like fell into it a little bit. That was big with like the My Cement days.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like right when it was like I guess ripe. And I remember, and when I went to Warped Tour,
We get the old man finger
yeah,
wiggle.
that's how you know you've grown. I remember when I went to Warped Tour. Every time I went to Warped Tour, like my like realization kicked in. I was like, this is not for me. Because it's funny, is that because I remember I saw Bring Me the Horizon for like 2 seconds, and I was like, this is not where I belong. But next to it was a Real Big Fish. So I was like, this is where. So Jose and I connected with Real Big Fish. I was like, this is where, because I was getting back to my like punk rock roots because I stopped listening to it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, this is where I belong because I felt like I could be here and it was for me. And there wasn't a lot of kids that like looked like me in that scene, which is funny. But in punk rock, I found that, you know, with like bands like the Bad Brains, which is only like the tip of the iceberg of like punk bands that are like POC.
Right.
There's so many. But yeah, you know, like in high school and as I grew up going to college and stuff like that, I kind of fell off of it. My hair was just like destroyed and burned. And
How'd you achieve the swoop?
I didn't achieve it at all. Like, like people think I achieved it, but like for the photo for like 10 seconds, but as soon as I turned the corner, it like fell apart. So, but I never really achieved that. But British people are able to do that. Like UK scenes at that time, like they're crazy. They have cotton candy hair.
Right.
That's how they're able to do it.
Cotton candy hair?
Yeah, it's like ginormous because they what was it called? Tease it.
Tease it.
They
Yeah.
tease it to the point of like
No
you know,
return.
Yeah, and then they become hippies. So you know, it's like they switch.
Fair enough. Have you gone back to listen to any of that emo music?
Yeah, I
or-
went back and I was like, yep, nope, not for me.
Oh wow. Just see the SpongeBob meme with the eye. I'm out.
Yeah. There are some that I think are cool. I appreciate some of the bands like oh man, I really like Let Live at the time. They weren't really like emo or anything that our scene or like a part of that. Like they stood out amongst all these other bands.
Right.
And I remember going to a
Taking Back
show.
Sunday too.
I like
Taking
Take
Back
Back Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah, I remember going to see Let Live of My Cement, Bring Me the Horizon at Revolution one year. Maybe like 2016, maybe. Probably around there. And Let Live was the best one.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought they were super cool. They broke up since, but like I think they're out of all of them, they're incredible. So
Since you've mentioned of My Cement, one of my most like vivid Warped Tour memories was like being so anxious and happy to see them that I was the band that played before. I don't remember who it was. I was like, let me get in the crowd because I want to get up to the gate. And you know, 2 p.m. blistering Florida sun. I
Yeah.
almost passed out.
Yeah.
Like I had to break my way through the crowd and go buy a Powerade because I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna survive this. And My Cement is not worth it.
No way.
They push you to your limits.
Literally, yeah.
That's festivals.
I'm one of the weak ones.
Yeah. $4 order, yeah.
They know what they're doing.
If you want to live, it's $4.
Oh, you know what? My first year going, you know what band I was really surprised and I actually stuck to the whole thing? Chiodos.
Chiodos.
I like Chiodos.
I know one whole Chiodo song.
Yeah, I think they're great. I think they're weird. They're super weird.
No, they're great.
They kind of remind me of Pose because they have crazy keys in it.
Really.
Yeah. So I think out of all those, it's probably like that one. I appreciate Pierce the Veil.
Oh, I love Pierce the Veil. It's
Yeah, I
one
don't
of my
really
favorite
listen
bands.
to them anymore, but as a band, I think.
Their new album is very 90s grunge inspired.
Yeah.
Inspired, obviously,
check it
different
out.
sounds. It doesn't sound like their old stuff.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I'm gonna move on to somebody else's emo scene though.
All right.
Bummer.
So I was a full-fledged like Pierce the Veil head. I saw them live with Sleeping with Sirens, I think in like 2013 or 2012.
Dream lineup.
Yeah, honestly, I like a little bit after that, I was like, yeah, it's not really my thing anymore. But one band that stuck with me like through that whole phase towards like today is My Chemical Romance. I've always been like really into them. Three Cheers is probably one of my like favorite albums of all time. But yeah.
Did you get to see them when they did that comeback tour?
No, I didn't. I saw a bunch of videos of people like getting to see them, but like the money and everything, I just like I couldn't. So expensive.
No, and it's impossible to buy tickets to a concert at this point. Like,
Yeah.
Ticketmaster too with their hidden fees and sizes.
Yeah, they try to.
I'll look at the clips on TikTok and pretend that I went.
that happened with me with Bad Omens. I wanted to go. So I discovered Bad Omens very late, as in like halfway through their most recent tour, basically, because by the time that they became a thing in like 2015, I was already kind of falling out of that music scene anyways. I fell out and I came back. So I was like, oh, I want to see them. They're coming to Orlando. Let me find out how much tickets are. $400 resellers.
What? Really?
For House of Blues.
Really?
You know those are $40 tickets.
Really? Yeah. I saw Peach Pit there, and that was like probably like $20.
I saw Oh Wonder there, and that was like
Yeah.
$20. Oh Wonder is a very good duo, by the way. They're like pop indie.
Yeah.
Kind
I'll
of.
check them out.
Oh yeah, they're great. Nothing to do with
Yeah.
anything else,
Yeah.
but damn, I'm sad that you missed My Chemical Romance on their return.
I'll see them eventually.
The Shush tour.
The Shush tour.
Shush tour.
Any other things you remember from your emo scene?
Yeah, might know.
Hey.
Did you achieve the swoosh?
I did not. I attempted to, but my mom didn't let me because she said that I would look like a football, not a football, like an American football, a soccer ball.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because I would show her pictures of these beautiful emo girls with their, and I'd be like, Mom, I want this, and she would be like, realistically, your hair cannot do that, and I couldn't take it.
And we will be teasing your hair for a whole week.
Oh my God. I couldn't take the truth. There is one picture of me at, I think, like 13 years old with something resembling the swoop. So that was me like fresh out of the hair salon with the most talented hairstylist I've ever interacted with.
Not even they could you.
Did you ever do the scene haircut where it was like the really short mushroom layer on top and then the...
That's what I wanted, but that's what I couldn't have because my hair is not...
You didn't miss out. You know how long, I was well past the scene and my hair was still growing out. There's still short top layers.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes for a good wolf cut, so...
Yeah. The trauma lasts forever. Maddie, your scene.
My scene. I don't think I really had
No.
a scene. I had the whole Justin Bieber hair like growing up.
We went to high school together, so.
I listened to a lot of like Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit. I was very edgy.
Okay.
Punch the wall. I listened to a lot of Green Day, Blink-182.
You hit your head on the wall too sometimes.
I loved Kid Rock for like the longest time. Super edgy. I was really edgy.
I don't know that.
Didn't get enough attention as a kid.
There.
But I loved Linkin Park for the longest time. They were like one of my favorite bands.
Okay.
And when Chester Bennington passed away, like I remember crying.
Yeah.
I cried myself.
Now I feel like I need to like listen out to the drums more in you guys' music to see like
I'm very angsty.
I can tell.
So
You have what?
I'm very spazzy on the drums. Like you can ask these guys.
No, I can always tell when someone's influenced by Linkin Park for some odd reason. Like I don't know music, but I know you listen to Linkin Park. But okay, yeah, that edgy scene, yeah. There were some cool kids that listened to Linkin Park, so that's not, I don't consider it.
It wasn't until later till I met these guys that I started listening to like My Chemical Romance. And,
So you just lived your whole life without...
Kennedy. I mean, not really. I was really a Chili Peppers kid too. Like I listened to a lot of Weezer. Weezer was like one of my top bands for like the longest time growing up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like I started working with these guys that I got into like more like the emo music, like pop punk music. But he introduced me more to punk. Like I love Dead Kennedys now. They're like one of my favorite punk bands to listen to. So
there's a really cool phenomenon that happens with every practice, which is whenever somebody, like one of us starts like to jam like a song that already exists, we all have like our go-to artists that we go to. This guy will always play Weezer. Eddie loves the Descendants.
Okay.
I'll play the Germs, and Jose will always play the Muffs, and Douglas decides to stick to our own music.
That's a real one.
Me and Jose love the Muffs.
I have to check them out. Like I said, I know zero
check
about.
out the album Blonder and Blonde. They're an incredible
Okay.
band. Yeah, incredible band.
Yeah, when I go back and watch this, because I like black out during interviews, and then when I watch it, it's like the first time ever seeing it. I'll like write down. Sometimes I'm like, why'd you say that? Maddie, if you have a good sense of humor, there's this guy, and I have to find his name because I don't remember it, but he does these videos that are like 40 minutes long, and it's one of them's why Red Hot Chili Peppers suck and why Weezer sucks.
I don't know.
Oh man, like,
I love Chili Peppers, but he is a funny dude.
I get that a lot. I used to get so much hate because growing up in high school, I learned like every song from the By the Way album.
Yeah.
I had learned every song on the guitar, and I had so much hate for it for years. And then, you know, it wasn't until like later I'm like listening to like their newer stuff, and I'm just like, these guys kind of fell off. Same with Weezer too. Like I love them to death. Like I love Pinkerton, and I love the Blue album, obviously, and it's just.
The Weezer video will make you cry at the end. Like you are laughing up until the end, and then you're like, oh god, I'm gonna cry. Like he really, and he doesn't like consistently post. He's like one of those that's like, I'm only gonna post when I have something good to say. Like,
Yeah.
So you can get like one video a year, but those two videos, hilarious. I had a great time.
I gotta check them out.
Jose, did you have a phase?
Indeed, he did.
A little bit,
Under Oath, man. Under Oath.
The thing is, oh yeah.
He just had a whole war flashback.
Oh, man. So when I was a kid, I was really listening more to. When I was a kid, I was really listening more to my parents' music for a little bit, and we got like an influence 60 and 70 stuff. And then maybe later on is when my sister kind of helped me with a little bit too, because she started listening to some newer stuff when she was in elementary. And then in middle school is then when she kind of introduced me to System of a Down. Or
I love System of a Down.
Marilyn Manson.
That was another band for me.
Marilyn.
Another band for me right there.
But yeah, kind of like how you mentioned those bands. Those were the bands that I was listening to as well.
Jose and I used to relate a lot. We used to work together in the front desk,
Yeah.
working at the KCM, and we just blast like System of a Down, Slipknot, like Rage Against the Machine, just all this like angsty rock.
And Weird Al.
Weird Al. Weird Al.
Loves Weird Al.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Weird Al.
But in general, like, I don't think I ever really had I've never really had a scene because that in high school I was a band kid. I was more of a band kid more than anything, and middle school I was a band kid also as well. I had a little bit of that. Like I went on Warped Tour 2 times, and I did have the swoosh.
You did the swoosh?
I did have the swoosh.
How is your hair so healthy now?
I have the same question.
It's been a while.
Okay.
I remember
She's saying
the last-
headbang.
when I did.
Oh,
the-
yeah.
Oh, my neck hurts just from. No.
Not good practice.
Yeah.
You cut your hair the weight, like.
Yeah. No, getting that over? No, absolutely not.
Thing. I remember when I had the switch, I only had it up to here, something like that, and I was using what are we talking about?
Flat iron.
Yeah, iron. Just hurt me the entire way, like ow, ow, yes, good pain, yes.
It hurts so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys had pretty cool phases. Like it's not like embarrassing. Like I had some really, really bad moments. Eddie?
Yeah, I had a huge like scene phase back in high school. I've shown pictures. I think I've shown pictures to these guys, but like I had the swoop. I would iron it and I would tease it and I would spray it up.
I never saw a picture.
You never
Well, now I
saw
have
the
to show you
picture.
guys.
Now we all need to see the picture.
Post.
Post.
But yeah, I had that scene phase. I only listened to like Bring Me the Horizon though. I really liked them back at the time, and I can't really remember. I saw MCR before they broke up
Oh,
in their like Danger Days days.
cool.
Um,
That was really good.
but yeah, I
Alright.
had like a bunch of different phases.
Yeah.
It's amazing how like a band going on hiatus, all of a sudden when they come back, they're like bigger than ever.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't do anything for 10 years
It's like, no, they're
and you're
good.
filling out stadiums. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the truth.
Yeah. When you
So-
connect well, then you can do that. You can
Yeah.
stop for a second.
I think one of my first songs that ever introduced me, and when I was little, like I wasn't even near like getting into like my emo phase or whatever, but Teenagers was just one of those songs that I always grew up with by My Chemical Romance. I thought I was so cool.
Yeah.
it was about.
They speak about a lot of like heavy topics, and I think that's like what reaches out to people. It's like
Yeah.
being able to relate to that.
Right. Yeah, you're speaking to a bunch of teenagers and now adults that are still not over it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a phase, Monkey.
Yeah, but it's good though. Like that's why I think connect with it so hard, because at least with us, like we know we're not doing anything that's like different in the sense of like talking about mental health, but we really wanted to like add to that. We really
Right.
wanted to contribute to that like progression of making it normal, and also like making it normal to help one another when it comes to those kinds of situations. They're always very sensitive, very intense. But once you have a group of people that you care about, you can trust, then it just gets easier.
I'm so happy that you guys were able to get together. What is the goal? What is the future of Shush? You could tell me what you have planned for 2024, for example.
Play shows and make a record. That's really the main like overall thing. We're gonna be filming a lot more videos for our socials, and hopefully, my goal for it is not only to have a bunch of shows, but at least to have like a new video, probably like by next year.
Okay.
Yeah, to get that in the works. Just to build a lot of connections, just get known in the scene that's going around, just be known around Florida. Like we're here to fuck shit up. So.
Well, I think this is a great introduction to you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out. We are going to have a relationship Reddit post before we close out,
Cool.
so we can help out strangers on the internet with, their lives.
Sweet.
So basically, this is a 28-year-old female, and her boyfriend is 40, male, got me a sentimental birthday gift, and I feel guilty that I don't like it. I feel so spoiled and guilty right now and would definitely appreciate some feedback. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 3.5 years, and he's always spot on with gifts, so it's not like he doesn't know me or doesn't pay attention to my likes or dislikes. For Christmas, he got me a beautiful chain. My birthday was yesterday, and he was hinting that he was having a custom pendant made for me for my birthday. It finally came in today. Before I opened it, he explained that this was a custom replica of a pendant his mother had and was buried with. He lost his mother when he was 9 in a very tragic way and was unable to even attend her funeral. The pendant his father got her was something he remembers well. I opened it, and it was a large heart pendant with white gold details. It was a beautiful piece, and I appreciated the sentimental value so much, but it's not my style. And I feel so bad. I told him it was beautiful, and I just put it on. He could tell that I wasn't head over heels over it, and I told him that I just typically don't like heart-shaped jewelry or white gold, but that the story behind it is what matters. If you were in my shoes, would you just happily wear it, or?
Delete this post. Delete the post.
Yeah. But honestly, I've been in a situation not where I've been gifted something like that, but I've just grown out of my jewelry. Get crafty with it. Like maybe like display it somewhere like in your room. I like to hang my my necklaces like on my lamp.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that you can do with jewelry. You don't necessarily have to wear it, and you can probably use it as decor or something to show that you appreciate the gift, even if you don't want to wear it on your person.
Right.
We do that a lot, especially when we're gifted pins. Like you can't wear every single pin, but we always find a place to like put the pin.
Yeah, right.
Like Matthias gave me this pin right here. This one obviously I put on here because it was meant a lot. It's by Richard Hell. I love Richard Hell.
I
Great
made this
punk
one.
Oh, that's so cute.
Early shush pins,
Those are the OG ones.
OG ones, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I feel like this post was a stab at me because I didn't have time to look for my own post. So I texted my boyfriend and was like, "Hey, can you send me some?" And there has been more than one occasion where he has gifted me something that I'm like, "Oh, I love it."
It's so much.
I feel called out. I feel attacked. But yeah, I think, I don't think this guy will really appreciate, something else being done with this jewelry, but if there's a lot of lore behind it, so I think I would just suck it up and wear
It's
it.
a little bit of a different generation too, if you think about it too.
Yeah.
I also don't think you're like required to wear it, as long as you don't throw it away or like.
Yeah, you don't have to wear it like every day, but if you go out on like
if
a
someone's
little
forcing
date
you to
or
wear
something. And
it's like a different like issue.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you can appreciate it without having to like flaunt it. Like,
Yeah.
Most of the time, I think.
Hang it up in your room and be like, oh, I don't want to lose it.
A little glass case.
All right, guys, this is your shameless plug moment. Go ahead and let everybody know what you want them to know about Shush.
You can find all of our socials on Instagram, the band called Shush, S-H. And all of our music's on Spotify, on every platform, honestly. It's a little hard to find us, so DM us if you can't find us on the platforms. We're small, so. But we have a lyric video out on YouTube. You can find it also on our Instagram bio. And yeah, if you want to play, let us know. Hit us up. We're really easy to talk to. Ray and I run the account, so we always respond. And this is a whole lot of fun.
Can't wait to see what you guys do the rest of this year. I can't wait for that album. And you guys make sure to go check out the band called Shush and keep following, subscribing, engaging with their content and our content. We'll see you again next week in the Senior Citizen Podcast.